Super Stock Combo. Stock Super Stock Combo. We need you to the rear lanes for laddering. We've called Super Comp to lanes 5 and 6. And I didn't hear what you said about Super Gas, Ken. Let's hear it one more time. And we'll make the call now for Super Gas to the rear of the staging lane. Super Gas, please report to staging. We'll put you in 5 and 6 right behind Super Comp. So Scott Winterbottom turns on the win light. Both dad and son are moving on to the next round. And now Jamie Roth and Pat Byron. Pat Byron in the right lane out of Hoquiam, Washington. The 72 Nova. Jamie Roth, Towerside, local guy from Langley. Dialed in at 10:06. Pat Byron dialed 8:51. So that'll do it for that round of BC Super Shifters and take us into Junior Street. It's funny, the big black cloud that comes out of that pickup truck doesn't seem or look anywhere near as big and black as it does in the daytime. Because the nighttime makes them go green. So Tyler with the win over Sophia. Looks like we're down to 3 cars. So it's going to be Tyler coming back to face Jenna in the final round. Jenna with the bye here in the round of 3 cars.
Here comes Thunder. Tower, can you make a call for Tyler Dalgleish? We need Tyler Dalgleish in the staging lane, please.
Hey, listen up in the pits. Tyler Dalgleish. Tyler Dalgleish. We need you in the staging lanes, please. Tyler Dalgleish, please report to staging. So, first pair of Thunder cars rolling towards the beams. Bentley and April. April in the right lane. Predicts 8:99. Bentley says, I want to go as fast as I'm allowed to. So I'm going to dial 890. So make the call now for Super Street to the rear of staging. You know what that means, Mikey? We've almost made it back round to pro bracket again. So it's going to be John off the mic and Mike on. So April's moving on. Goes 9 seconds exactly on the 899 dial. Bentley turned it red by 50. So April will be coming back. Hey, pro bracket. Well, I'll let Mike make this call.
All right, pro bracket, you're on standby. John, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So Coke left side. Nate over on the right side, 890. For Coca out of Chilla, whack. Nate out of Michigan. Global Container Terminals. Lord Co. 893 is the dial. Away and away. Nate right side stole 0.03 of a second on the reaction time. 8th mile finish line, 895 for Nate. To get it done, Coca was 103 on the green light start and 5 above to be a round 3 runner-up as Hunter and Ashton. Super Street Eliminator, Super Street. Back of the lanes, Pro, you're on standby. Pro will be getting ready to roll. But Super Street, you should be rolling, rolling, rolling. I mean, we could go the Limp Biscuit version or we could go the Rawhide version. Either way, you should be rolling, rolling, rolling. Hunter for BDL Automotive, Diversified Metalworks, Miller Truck Body, Lordco Racing, 895. Dialing for Hunter. Ashton is 1195, 3 seconds. 2 full Christmas trees. There goes Ashton. Comes Hunter. Ashton was much more gooder on the starting line. Hunter trying to close down the gap and is able to do it. 895 on the 895 for Hunter. Ashton dialed 1195, goes 1204. And Hunter, being dead on, will advance. It's Nick and McKenna. Nick out of the JBS Equipment Stable. McKenna out of the JBS Equipment Stable. 805 the dial-in for Nick. McKenna's got 798 on the Lord Coast scoreboard. Again, Super Street Eliminator. Should all be in the back of the lanes. We're that time of the day where you're basically charging and cooling and ready to head back up this way. Nick with the starting line advantage. McKenna trying to pull up alongside, not going to get there. 807 on the 805 for Nick. Was 51 on the green light start. McKenna was 111. An 801 on the 798, and those combination of numbers does not equate to a win light. Pro to the back of the staging lanes, if you would, please. Pro, Sportsman, you are on deck. Pro Eliminator to the back of staging. Sportsman Eliminator, you are on deck and you should be ready to roll. Sydney with the solo. Sydney out of Buckley, Washington, in that bright pink helmet. Sydney has 8:49 on the Lordco scoreboard and goes 8:53. 75 miles an hour for Sydney. And I do believe that is our last junior of this round. We'll get Sydney off the racing surface. We'll get that junior gate closed. And we'll roll the next class around the corner here momentarily. But Pro Eliminator, you should be in the back of the lanes. I do believe you are on a ladder. Pro Eliminator, it is no longer rando. You are on a ladder. Sportsman, you are on standby. Ray Carlson, Super Street Eliminator, needs rolling in the staging lanes. We are missing you. Ray Carlson needs you in the staging lanes, if you would, please. Stock, super stock combo with the fries and the large Coke. With Daryl Stobie and John Bazinski. Daryl out of Abbotsford, British Columbia. Wheel stand in 64 Chevelle. Stobie Construction. 1022. Pro Eliminator to lanes, if you would, please. Pro, we've already made a couple calls for you. Pro Eliminator, you should be in the back of the staging lanes. You are on a ladder. Pro Eliminator, get you this way. John Bazinski in the CUDA. 1084 the dial in for John. We're off and away. We are wheels on both sides. John is in quite a predicament. From here on the starting line, Stobie is in full control and squashes John Bazinski. 54 green and 1041 is comfortable. Bazinski was 239 on the green light start, and that is no bueno. 1088 on the 1084 for Bazinski. As Dave Young and Pat Brooks. Pat out of Snohomish, Washington. That big 64 Chevrolet wagon was your number one qualifier. 1227 the dial will be leading first. Dave out of Surrey, BC. Lordco Auto Parts. 96 Camaro left side. Dave in his Superstock. Pat in the big heavy wagon trying to hold off. Dave not going to be able to do it. Dave 41 green and 1097. And a comfortable one right there. Pat Brooks was 75 on the green light. And 1, 2, 3, 4 on the elapsed time is Derek Johnstone and Martha Lang. Derek out of Cloverdale. The 66 Chevrolet Ragtop. 1318 is the dial for Derek. Martha Lang at a Pew Wallop. With husband Jody. Back behind Martha, 1197 is the dial for Martha Lang. Craig Johnson in the wagon. We need you in the lanes if you would, please. Craig Johnson. Need you in the staging lanes if you would, please. Final pair in our super stock combo class is Derek Johnston. John Stone is out in front of the green light by 38 thou. Martha Lane will move into a round number semi. 11.98 for Martha. On the 11.97, Martha was 73 on the green light start. So Martha Lang come back around. As that wraps up our super stock combo class. Again, Ray Carlson. We're going to be running without you here very soon. Yeah, Ray Carlson, Super Street Eliminator. We're going to be running without you here pretty soon. We need you up in the lanes as the spray rig is out on the racing surface, putting down a little bit of sticky stuff. Sticky. Like $1,600 a drum that you just spray on the ground. Oh, the joys of running a drag strip. All right, Sportsman Eliminator competitors, Kevin Ness has ordered you to the staging lanes at this time, please. Kevin Ness said, Sportsman to the lanes instantaneously. Super Pro, you are on standby. But Sportsman Eliminator, you should be in the staging lanes. Kevin Ness has officially summoned you to the staging lanes. You've been cordially invited. Don't make Kevin become an angry elf. But Sportsman Eliminator needs you in the lanes if you would, please. And thank you. We're not above begging.
Yeah, he added that in there as well.
Again, Super Pro, you are on standby. I mean, we're almost at the point where anybody that turns on a win light, just be on standby. Like, literally be ready to go. Current track temperature is 85 degrees. Oh, no, is that 85 Celsius or 85 Fahrenheit? Oh, 85 Fahrenheit? Okay. I don't know. You Canadians are wild. What is 85 Celsius? 3 hundo? Yeah, all right. So Super Comp Eliminator will be running around the corner. Tyler Dalgleish and Brian Schmanke will be our first pair. Tyler Dalgleish, Brian Schmanke. Tyler out of Mission. Brian driving over the border from Olympia, Washington. This is the final round in Super Comp Eliminator. Tyler in the undercover prepared dragster. Brian and Mullis pipe. Couple of big block Chevrolets. 890 the index in Super Comp Eliminator. Tyler rolls through the beams. Brian Schmanke is going to be your winner chicken nugget dinner. 8901 there for Brian. Pay no attention to the reaction time, as the second that Tyler brought it up on the converter, the car lunged through the beams, and Brian is going to be your Super Comp winner. Super Gas Eliminator. Josh Meloff, Dean Peterson. Josh out of Maple Ridge. A 57 Corvette Roadster. Dean Peterson in that neon green Mustang Roadster. The Peterson Family Racing Squad. The semifinal here in Super Gas. Red light start for Josh by 4 thousandths of a second. Peterson was 45 green and goes 991. Meloff, after being red by 4 thou, goes 989. So we're going to have Dean Peterson and Kirk Lands in the final of Super Gas. Kirk in that really, really good looking 67 Camaro Roadster. Super Pro to the back of the staging lanes, if you would, please. Super Pro Eliminator to the back of the lane. Super Pro. I mean, really, there's only one thing wrong with Kirk's car, and that is he has a blue dialing board. Literally the only thing wrong with Kirk's car. As Kirk got off the gas when the car come off the stop, he was 12 green and 1377. So Super Street, Dan Parson, Alan Loftus, 1090 the index. In Super Street, Dan and the Duster out of Powell River for Quality Racing, and Alan Loftus out of Sumner, Washington. The Loftus Racing 82 Chevrolet S10. We've got Dan Parsons and Alan Loftus. If we could only change Dan's first name and Alan's first name, then we could have Alan Parsons. Red light start for Dan. Or excuse me, red light start for Alan. Dan was also out in front. And 1092. was 500 red. Dan Parsons was 22 red. So Dan Parsons will advance. It's Dave Wakefield and Herman Chan. Dave Wakefield for A Street Automotive, Milwaukee Tools, 71 Chevelle out of Lake Taps, Washington. Herman from right over there in Vancouver. We are green and green. Dave and Herman. Herman and Dave. Give it to Dave Wakefield. 1098. 126 miles an hour was 34 green. Herman was 56 on the green light start and 1098. It's Jerry Brown, Larry Miner with one pair and a single left in Super Street. So Jerry out of Sherwood Park. Larry Miner out of Washington. Red light start for Larry Miner by 2 thou. Jerry Brown was 15 green. And a free look at 1090. 1092. There for Jerry Brown, 133. Larry, after being red by 2 thou, goes 1087. So Tony Hopkins was supposed to take on Ray Carlson. Fortunately, Ray not able to make the call. Tony for RM Homes. Tony with the competition single. And our ladder single will follow. 73 for Tony. That 55 Chevrolet is going to run through 1,320 feet in 10.888 on the elapsed time, 149 in the mile an hour. All right, give me my motorcycle final. The lanes, if you would, please. Motorcycle final. Need you up in the staging lanes, if you would, please. Hot Rod, you are on standby. Hot Rod, you are on standby. So Jason Kendall there on the solo. We'll move on as I need Top Dragster. Final round, Top Dragster, get you rolling up this way, please. Top Dragster. Need you rolling up in the staging lanes, if you would, please. So Craig Johnson and Richard Love will start us off in round number 4. 4? Yeah, round number 4, Pro. Craig in the Malibu wagon, the drive-in special. One of those hot rods so you threw like 14 of your friends in the back. Craig for BC Scale, Johnson's Custom Exhaust. Craig Johnson was born, like literally born in this race car. Apparently. It's a great story. I'm all for it if it's true. Richard Love. That 89 S10. Once again, Top Dragster final. Need you rolling. Craig and Richard. Craig with a big starting line advantage, 600 to be exact. And he parlayed that into a win, 1068 on the 1064 to get the win. Once again, Top Dragster final. Top Dragster final, needs you rolling. is Bobby Ehlers and Rob Monroe. Bobby and Rob. Rob and Bobby. Bobby out of Maple Ridge in the Mustang. Rob out of Surrey in the Acadian. Rob is late and in a tight spot. Bobby dropped a 002 and 10:52 to get the win. Rob Monroe was 2:27 on the reaction time. And then goes 10:55. And no good is John Tabak and Loren Schwartz. Tabak for Team Rad Torque, Cold Front. The S10, 10:54 is the dial for John. Lorenz out of Langley in the Titanium Auto Group. Bubba's 83 Monte Carlo. We are green and green. John looking over the right shoulder. Here comes Schwartz. Schwartz is going to get the win. 10:26 on the 10:19 was 43 green. John Tabak was 13 on the light. Dialed 10:54 and went 10:66 and got behind by a couple of hun. Schwartz will proceed as Mal Patterson and Ross Walker. Patterson in that big wheel stand and malfunction Acadian. 10:10 is the number for Mal. Ross Walker. 10:07 is the dial for the 66 Chevy 2, and Mal turned red. Hot Rod Eliminator up in the staging lanes, if you would, please. Hot Rod, I need you rolling. Hot Rod up in the lanes, please. Again, Hot Rod Eliminator. Super Shifters also up in the lanes 5 and 6. So Hot Rod, Super Shifters. Hot Rod and Super Shifters. Or if you are a Hot Rod Super Shifter, you can also come to the lanes. Hot Rod and Super Shifters. Let's get you rolling. It's Mike Render. Garth Drager. Mike out of Chilliwack. Fountain Tire. Lordco, AFD there for Mike. Garth Drager, Magnum Oilfield Services. Ends his evening with the red light. Mike's going to go 1091 on the 1086. Garth dialed 905 and went 916, but it was all for naught as he went Jeff Gordon 24 on the red light start. All right, all juniors, you're on standby. Be ready to roll. All juniors on standby. I mean, really, we're at this time of the night where if you turn on a wind light, you are on standby. So literally, gas, charge, be ready to roll. But juniors, you are officially on standby. It's Randy Hermson. That big, heavy 58 Oldsmobile. Kind of tried the rolling start there. Was out in front of the green light. Just no harm, no foul on a solo. 13.99. Tonight we're going to party like it's 13.99. It doesn't have the same ring as 19.99, right? Okay. This is Ann Copeland and Steve Baskerville. Ann out of Surrey in the Subaru. Baskerville out of West Vancouver. 2022 Ford Mustang 5-liter. 13.14 the dial for Steve. 15.42 for Ann. Ann will get the head start. There goes Ann. Here comes Steve. Ann in the Subaru looking over to the right. Here comes Baskerville. You see brake lights on that Mustang. Win 13.41 on the 13.14. Is Matt Warner and Nick Douglas. Matt out of Washington in the Dodge. Linden Service Center. Nick Douglas in the Super B. And Richard Love, your pair is waiting for you in the staging lanes. We know that you just ran, and we know that you're hustling to come back around. 3 foul is the difference on the starting line. And give it to the Super B. Nick Douglas, 26 on the reaction time and 12:37 on the 12:36. Matt Warner was 23 green and 12:13 on the 12:11. Unfortunately, to be behind by 0.005 of a second, Nick Douglas will advance into round number next in Sportsman Eliminator. So again, Super Shifter 5 and 6, and Hot Rod. Super Shifter in 5 and 6, Hot Rod Eliminator. You've also been summoned to the lanes, but Super Shifter, the Shapeshifters into lanes 5 and 6, please. Shapeshifters into 5. Oh, Super Shifters into 5 and 6. What if you are a shape-shifting Super Shifter? We still need you in 5 and 6. So Super Shifter and Hot Rod, need you in the lanes if you would, please. Brendan Piskacek and Richard Love. Brendan out of Burnaby. Richard Love in the 89 S10. Got 1198 for the Reflections Guest House SS Motorsports. Brandon is away and Brendan is red. Love will be back around. Sometimes all you need is love. Hot Rod, final call for Hot Rod. If you are not in the staging lanes, you are terribly late. Juniors, all my juniors, let's get you rolling. Juniors, Junior Street, Junior Thunder, Junior Lightning. All my juniors rolling in lanes if you would, please. Stock, super stock combo, and all my super categories, you're on standby, except for super gas. Oh, and super comp is done. So really, Kevin, it's only going to be super street coming back. It's Corey Craig, Al Almond. Corey in the Black Lightning. Al for Thrifty Machine Shop. $816 the dial for Corey. $897 for Al. 1 advantage on the starting line for Corey, and Corey's going to get the win. 8-1-7 for Corey Craig on the A16. Al dialed 897. It goes 9 flat. So congratulations to Corey Craig, our winner in our motorcycle category. I believe Super Pro is here coming around the corner. You know, might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie. Mike Robinson getting the bye here in Super Pro. The Chilliwack still protesting. For JBS, JS Power Sports, this super cool 27 Ford Roadster. I really need to get one of these. 003 in front of green there for Mike Robinson, and that's totally fine. On a competition single, he goes 922 on the 923. That is also totally fine. It's Ted Buss and Jeremy Soares. Ted Buss in the 34 Ford Roadster for Shawnigan Trucking. Straight line race cars. Jeremy Soares in the Dragster. Soares Transport, Quick Tech race cars. At a Terrace in the province of British Columbia. 920, the dial in for Ted. 755 for Jeremy. Again, all my juniors, anybody that's left in competition, you should all be in the staging lanes. Green to green. Jeremy a little better on the starting line, trying to reel in Ted in the Roadster. Ted in the Roadster is going to get it done. 918 on the 920 on a double breakout. Was 43 on the green light start. Jeremy was 22 on the light and goes 751 on the 55, under by 4. Both competitors under their dial-in. Ted was closer, and he'll be your winner. Jason Gibson. Jason Gibson. Martin Rochelle. Gibson on the Mustang. Martin in the Malibu. Brake lights for the Mustang. And Jason going to get the win. 986 on the 983 was 19 on the reaction time. Martin arrived to the finish line 40 thou in front to break out by 16 thou. Needed to arrive 24 thou or less. Didn't do it. Jason Gibson will move on to the next round. It's Kevin McNichol. And Emma Debris Coos. So, stock, super stock combo to the lanes, if you would, please. Stock, super stock combo to the lanes is Kevin and Emma. Evan and Kemma. Kevin and Emma. Kevin, 005 and 1016 on the 1013. And that 67 Nova will roll. Emma was 21 and 903 on the 897. And a runner-up effort as that closes out Super Pro Eliminator. Again, stock, super stock combo. You should be in the staging lane. Stock, super stock combo. You should be in the staging lanes. All right, stock, super stock combo, super street eliminator. Pro, you're on standby. So stock, super stock combo in the lanes, please. Super street in the lanes. Pro eliminator, you're on standby. So let it be written. So let it be said. Okay, a little track down there, the racing service by Wally the parent. Wally says, we're good, fire them. Let's go. Final round in top dragster. Dane Lachelle, Zach Clark. Dane. The big blown Oldsmobile, 627 is the dial-in. Zach Clark from right over there in Mission. For Team Rad, JS Power Sports, 694 is the dial for Zach. Full yellow amber and a half of another will be the head start for Zach. Dane and that big blown Oldsmobile will be in hot pursuit. Zach goes in double bulbs. Dane, last to go in. Off and away, Dane and Zach. Give it to Dane, 628 on the 627. Dane was 002 on the green light. Zach was 15 and 698 on the 694. So Dane Lachelle, congratulations, our winner in top dragster. There's Jamie Roth and Keith Winterbottom in the Super Shifter. Again, Super Street. You should be all up in the lanes. Again, Super Street Eliminator. You should be in the lanes. Jamie Roth, Keith Winterbottom. Let's start us off in the Super Shifters. Jamie out of Langley in the Comet. Winterbottom out of Maple Ridge in the 68 Camaro for Rags to Riches. 922 that island for Keith. Red light for Jamie Roth by 34,000. Scott Winterbottom throws 3 zeros down on the scoreboard on the solo. 942 on the 938. To roll into round number next of the Super Shifters. Rob Monroe here in Hot Rod Eliminator. It was 10:54, 125 on the solo, 73 on the reaction time initiating that run. They're in Hot Rod Eliminator. Pro Eliminator, need you in the lanes if you would, please. Sportsman, you're on standby. Pro Eliminator, need you in the back of the lanes. Sportsman, you're on standby, which literally means you should be ready to roll. Pro Eliminator, get headed this way.
They're looking for him in the staging lane.
Mr. David Wakefield, we are missing you in the staging lanes. Mr. David Wakefield, we're missing you in the staging lanes. I believe for Super Street Eliminator, we're missing you. Mr. David Wakefield, I believe we're missing you in the staging lanes. All right, Hot Rod Eliminator. Terry Hookstons. Sylvia Hookstons. I'm relatively sure there's like some sweeping out of the trailer at stake right here.
Oh, Sylvia's late.
Terry's got a big starting line advantage. And Terry's going to get the win. 12:09 on the 1190. Sylvia was 367. And Sylvia just dug a big hole on the starting line, couldn't get out of it. Matt Warner. And Veronica Hodgson. Matt in the Mercury. Veronica in the Dodge. So Mercury Matt, 1060. 12:19 the dial for Veronica. We are off and away. Mercury Matt trying to pull up alongside Veronica, 1,320 feet, and Mercury Matt, 1083. On the 1060 was 53 on the green light start, had almost 7/100ths of an advantage on the starting line. Veronica dialed 12:19 and went 12:45. Final round in Junior Street. It was Tyler and Jenna. Here in our final of Junior Street, Tyler for Zapstrap Racing. 1099 is the dial. Jenna for Peden Industries. Winter Harbor Marina and RV. 2000 Chevrolet Tahoe. We got 1090 on the dial for Jenna. Tyler will have the opportunity to leave the starting line first. Jenna will be right there behind. We are pre-staged. We are staged. Tree away and away. Tyler left side. Jenna right side. Tyler out in front, a tap of the brakes, and going to get the win. Snuck it up to 8 thou at the finish line. Tyler was 38 on the green light start and 11:16 to get the win. Jenna was 200 on the green light start. And Tyler got down there on the brakes, but ended up in front by 8 thousandths of a second to get the win tonight in Junior Street. Three Junior Thunder competitors left. Hunter and April will start us off. Hunter, 893. April, 901. Hunter over on the TCS side of the racetrack. The left lane as we are looking down track. April for Team JBS, 901 is the dial-in. Sportsman Eliminator. Up in the lanes, if you would, please. Super Pro, you're on standby. Which means literally be on the ground, fueled, and ready to go. Sportsman Eliminator. Back in the lanes, if you would, please. Hunter left side. April right side. Semifinals in Junior Thunder. Tree away and away. Hunter and April. Win light. Hunter, 897 on the 893. April got to the finish line first by 8 and broke it out by 7 thou. So Hunter will make up one half of the final. Be alongside Nate. Nate out of Mission, BC. Global Container Terminals at Lordco. 893. The projection for Nate here in the semifinal single. Stage, tree, and away. 131, the green light start for Nate. And a free look at 893 before the final round. He's going to look at 893.4. And that'll work. So believe this is final round in Junior Lightning. With Nick and Sydney. Canada and Washington. Nick for Team JBS. 807. The dial-in for Nick. Sydney. Buckley, Washington, 852. The dial for Sydney. And that bright pink helmet for Sydney. Sydney will leave the starting line first. Nick will be in pursuit. Once again, this is final round in Junior Lightning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, Super Pro in each of the lanes. Super Shifter and Hot Rod, you are on standby. Super Shifter and Hot Rod, you are on standby. Sydney is in quite the predicament. Nick with a large starting line advantage and is going to get the win. 8:08 on the 8:07. Nick was 18 green. Sydney dug a huge hole on the starting line, was 1:02 on the reaction time, and goes 8:51.9 on the 8:52, but it was all for naught as Nick had Sydney locked out of the show, as Nick was 36 total. Sydney was 1:02 green. And I had a better chance of winning the lottery than Sydney did have turned on a win light there in that race. So our super stock combo class, Dave Jung and Daryl Stobie. This is a rematch, kind of the first divisional event there at Pacific Raceways, where we were heads up. But here at the National Open, we put dial-ins on them. There are no heads up. So Dave has put 1090 on the side of that 96 Camaro for Lord Co Auto Parts. Daryl Stobie, 1023 for the Stobie Construction 64 Chevelle. Kids are losing their mind. $10.23 for Daryl Stobie. $10.90 for Dave Jung. Believe this is semifinal, correct? Winner will take on Martha Lang. Right? Martha has a solo. Red light start by 2 freaking thousandths of a second for Daryl Stobie. Dave Young is 34 green and goes 12:07 off the gas early. Stobie, after turning her head by 2 little teeny tiny ones, goes 10:24. So Dave Young and Martha Lang will be our final round in stock super stock combo. Martha in the Malibu, as Super Street Eliminator is heading into the water box. Martha's going to get a free look at the racetrack. Martha's 12 on the green light. And we'll run it on down through the quarter mile at 11:94. So Martha Lang, Dave Jung will be the final in our stock super stock combo category. Super Street Eliminator. Is Jerry Brown, Tony Hopkins. Jerry out of Sherwood Park in the Demon. Tony out of Snohomish, Washington in the classic Shoebox Chevrolet. Tony for RM Homes. Former Division 6 Super Street champion of the world. Brown off the throttle stop. Here comes Tony Hopkins and Jerry Brown, 007, 1089.3 will get it done. Tony was 58 up front and 4 quick, which is no good. It's Dan Parsons. Jason Kendall. I believe it is not the Jason Kendall that was a professional catcher in Major League Baseball for the Pittsburgh Pirates for a number of years, but it could be. Oh, I'm saying it could be, but also could not be. Parsons and Jason Kendall. Jason Kendall going to get the win, 10.99. After being 52 on the green light start, Parsons was 12 green. I just couldn't run the number. It was 11.10, 2/10 off the dial. As David Wakefield will have the quarterfinal solo. Let's get us down to 3 cars in Super Street. .28 green for Dave Wakefield out of Lake Taps. Again, Hot Rod and Super Shifter. Hot Rod, Super Shifter, you should be in the lanes. 10.88 for Dave Wakefield. Pro, you're on standby. Pro, you're on standby, which means you should be ready. Oh, Pro's on the line. But yet again, if you turn on a win light here in Pro, you're on standby. Craig Johnson. For BC Scale, Johnson's custom exhaust in the Malibu wagon. Johnson bumps in. 49 green for Craig on the solo. An opportunity to check out where he's at on the 1058. 1060. So Bob Ehlers and Ross Walker. Bobby in the 89 Mustang out of Maple Ridge. 1036 is the dial for the Mustang. Ross in the 66 Chevy 2 from President Chevrolet. 1011 is the dial. Ross is in a tight spot. Bobby out in front is going to get the win. 1040 on the 1036 was 26 on the green light. Ross was a $1.14. Gave up 9/100ths of a second on the starting line and could not get around Bobby. It's Mike Render and Loren Schwartz. Rendered out of Chilliwack for Fountain Tire. The 85 S10. Lorenz in the Monte Carlo out of Langley. Render. Out in front, here comes Schwartz. Render. 10.905 on the 1090 was 20 green. That makes 25 total. Lorenz Schwartz was 31 green and just wasting space. I had a better opportunity to be named People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive than Lorenz Schwartz had at turning on a win light there. Lorenz was completely locked out. It was Randy Hermsen and Richard Love. Randy in that big 58 Oldsmobile. 1372 is the dial. Richard Love, 1198 for the Reflections Guest House. SS Motorsports S10. We are away and away. The Oldsmobile and the S10. It's Randy, it's Richard. Richard Love, 1210 on the 1198. 76 on the green light start. Randy was 115 and 1389. Super Shifters. Lanes 5 and 6, if you would, please. Super Shifter. 5 and 6. Super Shifter. Lane 5 and 6 is Steve Baskerville and Nick Douglas. Baskerville, the 22 Ford Mustang. 1314 is the dial. Nick Douglas in the Super B. 1238. Baskerville, Douglas going to get the win. 1237 on the 1238 double breakout win. 36 green for Nick. Baskerville was 73 at the start and under by 4 hun. And on a double breakout, Nick Douglas in the Super B, Super Duper B, will be back around. Mike Robinson and Ted Buss. Mike had a Chilliwack. .921 that island. Robinson 921 for the JBS, JS Motorsports. 27 Ford Roadster, 34 model Roadster for Ted Buss. Shawnigan Trucking. Straight line race cars. 917 the number for Ted. Mike Robinson has cut Ted Buss's reaction time in half. Mike trying to hold off Ted, and yes, we'll do it. 925 on the 921 was 25 on the green light start. Ted was 54 green and 921. And 3 hun behind at the finish line. Mike Robinson will advance here in Super Pros. Jason Gibson and Kevin McNichol. Gibson in the 91 Fox Body Mustang. Kevin McNichol, the 67 Nova for Rad Torque Systems. Jason and Kevin. How do you feel about Jason Gibson? 23 green, dead on 8, makes 31 total. Kevin McNichol was 33 on the green light and locked out. Had 0.00% chance of turning on a win light. Kevin was just on a 10.15 second elapsed time, 131 mile an hour parade lap. So Jason Gibson and Mike Robinson I believe we'll be in the final round of Super Pro, right? I really enjoy when I'm like, made it into the final round, right? And the people who know the answer to the question are like, I don't know.
Just teasing him. Maybe. It's a final.
So Mike and Jason will be in the final. A Roadster and a Mustang. Ford and a Ford. Hey, Ford's going to be first on race day. All right, Hot Rod and Junior Thunder. Hot Rod and Junior Thunder. Final round. Get headed this way, please. Also, Super Street. You guys just ran your quarterfinals. I know you guys will be extra fast, putting a charge on it, putting some gas in it, and be heading back up this way, too. All right, Super Shifter. And this is the Super Shifter final. Scott Winterbottom, Keith Winterbottom. It is all Winterbottoms all the time. Well, at least on Saturday here at the Titanium Strip at Mission Raceway Park. The Rags to Riches Top Shop. 63 Chevy 2 for Scott, left side. Keith on the right side. Scott Winterbottom is going to get the win, 942. On the 938 dial, Keith was late. Winterbottom was 240 on the green light and 929. Scott Winterbottom was 65 green and 942 to beat her winner. in the super shifter category as Junior Thunder is rolling around the corner. Junior Thunder final. Hunter and Nate. Final round in Junior Thunder. Hunter for BDL Automotive, Diversified Metalworks, Milleron Truck Body, Lord Co. Racing. Over on the left side. All right, Pro, Sportsman, and Super Pro. Pro, Sportsman, and Super Pro, all back around the lanes, if you would, please. Pro, Sportsman, and Super Pro, all back around, please. My Super Street Semi, need you as well. So Terry Hookston's on the solo here in Hot Rod. Terry, 20 green and 1188. Matt Warner, Rob Monroe. 1075 the dial for Mercury Matt. Rob Monroe, 1056 the number. Matt Monroe, 10 or Matt. I just combined both names. Matt Warner, 1089 on the 1075 will advance down into the final 51 green. Rob Monroe was late. 1062 on the 1056 was 202 on the green light start. But Matt Warner, 51 and a little above to be good. Stock, super stock combo final round. Dave Jung and Martha Lang. Dave in his super stocker. Martha in her L stock automatic Malibu. Dave has 1090 on the dial. Martha has 1192 on the scoreboard. Dave from right over there in Surrey. Martha from right down over there in Puyallup, Washington. Two full yellow bulbs will be the head start for Martha Lang. Dave is in. Martha's in. Green and green. Martha just dropped 3 zeros on Dave. And Martha's going to get the win. Hey, Jody Lang, that wife of yours was just perfect on the starting line. Trip zip for Martha Lang, 1193 on the 1192. Dave was 61 up front and completely locked out of the show as Martha Lang, after going perfect on the starting line. And one above, locks out Dave Jung, who was 61 green and no shot whatsoever. So how about that Martha Lang? I mean, if you're going to go perfect on the starting line, let's do it in the final. So congratulations to Martha and Jody. We'll be taking home the stock, super stock combo Wally back to Washington. Believe pro semifinal. Mike Render, Chilliwack, Fountain Tire, Lordco AFD, 1092 on the side. Here in the semifinal, Render will advance down to the final round, run for the Wally. .002 red there for Mike Render, which is totally copacetic when you're on a solo. 1089 there for Mike Render. It's Craig Johnson, Bobby Ehlers, Craig and Bobby, Bobby and Craig. Craig in the big wagon. 79 Malibu for BC Scale, Johnson's Custom Exhaust. Bobby and the Mustang out of Maple Ridge, all lift inspections. 1036 is the dial in for Bobby. Craig is in a dominating position as they leave the starting line. Bobby is in a real difficult spot. Craig Johnson, 13 green, 1064 on the 1062 to advance in the final round. Bobby picked a bad time to be 83 on the reaction time. 1033, and still got to the finish line second. So Craig Johnson advances into the final round in Pro Eliminator. Sportsman Eliminator final round. With Nick Douglas and Richard Love. Nick out of Lake Stevens. They're in the state of Washington in the Super B. $12.38 the dial for Nick. Will be leaving first. Richard Love, $11.98 for the 89 S10. For Reflections Guest House, SS Motorsports. As my Super Pro final is here in the water box. We are green and away. Nick Douglas is in a dominating position as they leave the starting line and is going to get the win. 42 on the green light for the Super B, 12:42 on the 12:38 illuminates the win light. Richard Love was 178. Reaction time there in the final round and 11:90 on the 11:98 and still got the finish line second. So congratulations to Nick Douglas, our winner in Sportsman Eliminator. Super Pro final round. Mike Robinson and Jason Gibson. It's our Super Pro final round with our Super Street semifinal to follow. We are staged. We are away. Heard a couple of rips of the throttle down there. Win light for Jason Gibson. 55 green and 987 on the 983. I believe Robinson was the one that So I believe Mike Robinson was the one who whacked the throttle down there. They're in the middle of the racetrack. Jason Gibson is going to get the win. Jason Kendall and Dave Wakefield, semifinals of Super Street. Kendall and the Thunder Chicken. Wakefield and the 71 Chevelle. Jason Kendall was late. Win. Dave Wakefield, 11 flat. All right, so Jerry Brown is just going to take the green light and back out. Or take the green light and just idle down the racetrack. So our rerun junior final will be heading out. And our junior final that we run right here will be our last 2 cars down the track for tonight. Super Street final, Hot Rod final, Pro final will all be run tomorrow morning, as well as the Super Gas final that we've already delayed. So Super Street final, Super Gas final, Hot Rod final, and Pro final will all run tomorrow morning. Once again, so Hot Rod final, Pro final, Super Street final, and Super Gas final. You guys will all run tomorrow morning during that first session. We'll run our final junior, and that'll be it for tonight. So once again, Super Street final, Super Gas final, Hot Rod final, and Pro Eliminator final. We'll run your finals tomorrow morning during the first session. We will also do winner circle pictures and interviews tomorrow as well. If you're not up here already, we'll take care of you tonight. But if you're not up here, we'll do them tomorrow. So once again, Pro, Hot Rod, Super Gas, Super Street will run your finals tomorrow morning during the first session. So this will be our last pair of cars down the track, Hunter and Nate. So Hunter, 897 is at Island left side. Nate, 892 right side. BDL Automotive, Diversified Metalworks, Milron Truck Body, Lordco Racing for Hunter. On the TCS side of the racetrack. And Nate for Global Container Terminals. 892 the Island for Nate. Hunter is 004 on the green light and 907 to be good. Nate was 127 green. Hunter 004. And Hunter is going to be your junior Thunder winner. After being 004. The Nate's 127. That is a final pair down the racetrack. Once again, thank you everybody for being here today. We will run 4 finals tomorrow. Pro, Hot Rod, Super Gas, and Super Street. If you're not already up here for pictures, we will take those pictures tomorrow morning as well. Kevin S., anything to add?
That's it. That's all. Chilliwack.
Chilliwack.
Hey, guess who won? Hunter Gallant from Chilliwack.
It's chilly. If it was Chilla, it'd be an A there. Once again, 4 finals tomorrow. Super Street, Super Gas, Hot Rod, and Pro Eliminator. You'll all run tomorrow. If you're not already up in the area for pictures, we'll do those in the morning. And we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning on track, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. on track tomorrow. One hit and go.